Hey everyone, Laura here with Rags to Rugs, and today we're going to be making a round rug. Not just any round rug, we're going to be making a perfect crocheted round rug. We're going to be using a pattern that I wrote a few years ago. Now, I grant you, I might be just a tad bit biased, but in my opinion, this is one of the best, if not the best, patterns that are out there. Why? It's fun, it's easy, but most important, I can assure you that your finished rug will be perfectly shaped and it will lay perfectly flat. Both are very important when we're making our rugs. Now, if you're going to follow along with us, we are going to make a 20-inch round rug with this video. You're going to need some tools. What you're going to need is a crochet hook, a Q size, which will yield a 1-inch gauge. You might round up a pair of shears. You're going to need one crochet marker. We use the little spring-loaded girls' hair pretties. This happens to be a 1-inch, but it doesn't have to be this size. If you don't have one of these, you can use pretty much anything. A clothespin or a paper clip works. You can use a twist tie from your baggies. This works great. You could use just a little scrap of fabric. This is ideal too. So don't put a lot of effort into it, but you do need one crochet marker. You're going to need about 1.5 pounds of fabric, 2-inch wide strips to complete this size of rug. And if you would, I want you to round up some scrap paper. You need 9 pieces of paper. I want you to number them 2 through 10, and I'll explain to you how we're going to use those in just a little bit. Now, last night I did finish a rug, a round rug. This inner part of this, Lisa, if you can zoom in on this inner section right here, this print section, is the size of rug we're going to be making with this video. Now, I did go ahead and put a band of ebony black on this rug. If you've been following us, you know that we've had a couple videos lately on how to add a band of color and avoiding that stair step. This is important. So if you would like to know how to do that, please check out our YouTube videos on our channel. It's there. In addition, I went ahead and put a scallop border on this rug. I like putting scallop borders on all my rugs because I think it brings a little charm to it, but it's almost like framing it. So this part right here is 20 inches. If you go ahead on the rug that you make today, add your band of color and a scallop, this is about a 28-inch overall rug size, which is a really lovely size. Draw. So what do you say we get started? The first thing that we're going to do is do a simple slip knot. Now, this is the very basis of every rug that you ever make. So we're addressing this video to the beginners, but you avid crocheters, if you know this, go ahead and fast forward beyond it. But we're going to teach you how a very simple method of doing a simple slip knot. With the fabric that you've chosen for your rug, lay it on the palm of your hand, just like this. Pinch it with your pinky. Feed that fabric all the way around, and once again, pinch it right there at your pinky. This is a very simple way of doing a slip knot. What we're going to do now is take this first loop and feed it off over the top. We're going to take this second loop, feed it off over the top. What remains is one loop. We're going to pinch that, pull out your fingers. Using the long piece of fabric, we're going to give that a gentle tug. We're going to adjust it just a little bit, and we're going to insert that Q crochet hook that I asked you to round up. We're going to insert it in that loop. The reason why it's called a slip knot is because you can literally adjust it to whatever size you want. You can do that by way of the short piece and the long piece. Now, what's the perfect slip knot? How do you know how tight to make it? Well, if you notice the little space right below the crochet hook on this slip knot, what we want is not necessarily physically, but visually. Can you insert the tip of your pinky directly below the crochet hook in the space in that slip knot? That's going to establish the tension in your rug, and this is very, very important. I can see it's a little bit big, so I'm going to adjust it just a tiny bit. And we're going to get started on the next part. We are going to now do 4 foundational chains. And as if I've shared in other videos, the foundation of your rug is the very beginning. And so this is a very important step. We'll only use this step one time at the beginning of this round rug. But the way you do the foundational stitches, now I like to teach proper technique. Your crochet hook should always be up toward the ceiling. And I like to, with fabric, I know with yarn you kind of feed it through to maintain tension, but with us, what I like to do is just simply pinch the fabric like this, kind of as like a scissoring, and then up toward the ceiling, and use my third finger and my thumb to secure the knot directly below your crochet hook. We're going to do now 4 foundational chains. I'd like for you to hook the fabric, roll it toward you, and slip it easily through the loop on your hook, that very first slip knot. I'm going to move my thumb and my third finger up to the base of that stitch. I'm going to now hook the fabric, again roll it toward me and easily through the loop on your hook. Again, throughout this whole rug, try to maintain visually that wonderful space directly below your hook. You don't want these stitches to get too tight. That was 2. We need to do 2 more. I'm going to hook the fabric, draw it through, and we're going to do 1 more. Move my thumb and third finger up, hook the fabric, roll it toward you, and draw it through the loop that's on your hook. We have now completed 4 foundational chains right here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to join those foundational chains with a simple slip stitch. And the way we're going to do that is, again, here I've scissored the fabric up toward the ceiling. It's very lightly on the palm of my hand. I've found the very first foundational chain of those 4 that we did. I'm going to insert my hook in that first chain. I'm going to hook the fabric, draw it through, all the way through the loop that's on your hook. At this point then, we've got 4 foundational chains, and we joined it with a slip stitch to form a ring. Okay, so now we've joined those foundational chains with a simple slip stitch to form a ring. The next step is to do 6 single crochets in the center of that same ring. Single crochet, that's the abbreviation is SC. This is super easy, guys. So what we're going to do now is find where the center of that ring is. We're going to insert our hook in the center of that ring, hook our fabric, draw it through, hook our fabric again, and draw it through both of those loops. That's 1 single crochet. Insert your hook again in the center of that ring, hook the fabric, draw it through, hook the fabric one more time, and draw it through both loops on the hook. We've now completed 2 single crochet stitches. We've got 4 more to go. So we're going to insert the hook in the center of the ring, hook the fabric, draw it through. You've now got 2 loops on your hook. Hook the fabric again, roll it toward you, and through both loops on your hook. Always maintaining that comfortable space directly below your hook. That will assure you of the proper tension on your rug. So that was 1, 2, 3. Let's do 3 more. Insert my hook in the center of the ring, hook the fabric again, and draw it through both loops. That's 4, 5, and the last one is 6. Now sometimes I have to kind of roll that whole ring outward like this so you can clearly see all the stitches around. And what we're going to do now, you're already familiar with a single crochet stitch. Now we're going to do 2 single crochets in the next 6 single crochets. These same right here. The way we're going to do that is we're going to find where those single crochet stitches are. And if you look on the side of your ring, you're always going to be able to see these little heart shapes right here. Each one of those is a stitch. We're going to insert our crochet hook in the very first one of those 6. We're going to hook the fabric, draw it through, hook the fabric again through both loops. And we're going to repeat that because we're going to insert our hook a second time, 2 single crochets in the next 6. I'm going to insert my hook in that same exact space, hook the fabric. You've now got 2 loops on your hook, and we're going to draw it through. Moving on to the next single crochet stitch, I inserted my hook, hook the fabric once more through both. Do it again. And moving on to the next one. There it is right there. You can see that little heart. We're going to insert our hook right directly below that little heart. Hook the fabric again, reinsert your hook a second time, and move on to the next one. Insert your hook, hook the fabric and draw it through both. Insert your hook, hook the fabric, and draw it through both. Let me feed off some more fabric here. Insert your hook in the next space, hook the fabric once more, insert your hook, hook the fabric, and draw through both loops. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need to do it one more time. Insert your hook, hook the fabric. 2 loops are now on your hook. Hook the fabric and draw it through both. And one more time in that same space. And you are now done with this round. Super easy, huh? Okay, so continuing on. Now you remember those little pieces of paper that I was talking to you about? This is where these come into play. The first one is a number 2, and that's from now this point on is going to indicate which round you are on. We are starting round 2. Okay, so moving along. Now you remember at the beginning of the video I asked if you could find some little scrap pieces of paper and number them 2 through 10, 9 different pieces of paper. Well, this is when these are going to come into play, because these numbers on these pieces of paper will indicate the round that you are on. We're going to use our crochet marker to mark that round. So we just finished those 2 crochets in that last foundation stitch, and we're going to put this little crochet marker or the twist tie or the piece of fabric, whichever you like to use, right there in the center of those 2 stitches. And we're going to continue on with our pattern. You'll understand why in a minute why those are so important. The next thing that we're going to do now is to do 1 single crochet in the next single crochet, 2 single crochets in the next single crochet, and then we're going to repeat. And that's what that little asterisk is going to tell you from now on. So we're going to follow along here. We put our crochet marker at the very last stitch in our pattern, and we're now going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And again, we're going to insert our hook, hook the fabric, draw it through. We've got 2 loops on the hook, hook the fabric again and draw it through. Now it says to do 2 single crochets in the next single crochet. So we're going to insert our hook, hook the fabric, 2 loops on the hook, hook the fabric. We're going to reinsert our hook a second time in that same space, hook the fabric and draw it through both. And now it's got the little asterisk, so you know from this point on you're going to repeat the same pattern. 1 in the next one, 2 in the next one. 1 and 2, because we're repeating the same pattern, aren't we? Lisa, you just tell me where I need to be to make sure we got it nice and clear. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. I insert that hook a second time right there. 1, and you'll notice we're getting close to our crochet marker, and 2. We just finished round 2. Okay, so how do I know that that was round 2? Again, I'm going to look at my pattern, 1 single crochet in the next single crochet, and then 2 single crochets in the next. 1 here plus 1 equal 2. We just finished round 2, and we're going to put this at the bottom of the pile because we're starting now round 3. This is really fun. So I'm going to put the pattern for that, and if you'll notice, this pattern and this pattern are almost identical except for this number. This round is round 3. You take this number plus 1 will equal the round that we're on. Except for this number right here, the pattern is identical. But we're going to continue on. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 2, or in the next 2, excuse me, and then 2 single crochets in the next one. 1, 2. Repeat. 1 in the next 2, 2 in the next. 1, reinsert my hook a second time, 2, 1, and 2. Almost there. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And we're getting close to our crochet marker. 1 and 2. We've reached the end of this round. We know that because we've reached our crochet marker. So we're going to move this to number 4, and we're going to put the next round pattern on here. Now again, the only thing that's different between this and this is this number. Everything else remains the same. This pattern right here, 2 single crochets in the next single crochet, is what we call in the crochet world an increase. The abbreviation would be an INC. But for this lesson, I'm going to keep putting this so you can compare and see how it's different. 3 plus 1, that means we're on round 4. And my little piece of paper will indicate that. I'm going to remove my crochet marker and move it to the last stitch on the previous round, and we're ready to start again. Okay, moving along, we're going to start on round 4. Again, my little piece of paper is my indicator so that if I do get distracted with the mailman or a pot of boiling water, I know by looking at my little pieces of paper which round I'm on. I also know by the pattern, 1 single crochet in the next 3 single crochets, 2 in the next, which is our increase, and then repeat. Now, 3 plus 1, you always add 1 to this number right here, is what round you are on. We're on round 4. So we're going to continue on. Here we go. So 1 in the next 3. There's 1, 2, 3, and then 2 in the next if you're following the pattern. 1, 2, 3 in the next. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to increase at this point. We're going to insert our hook 2 times in this space. 1, 2. The reason why we increase is to relieve tension so that our rug doesn't roll up, which is a common problem with when you're making these rugs. 1, moving on, 2, 3. Now we're going to insert our hook in the next space, but we're going to insert it 2 times there. 1, 2. Now 1, 2, 3. Insert your hook 2 times in this next space. 1, 2. Now 1, 2, 3. 2 times in the next space. It's very repetitive. That's what that asterisk means. Insert it 2 times here. Now we're going to go with the next one. 1, 2, 3. We're going to remove our crochet marker, set it aside for a moment, and we're going to do 2 in the next single crochet stitch. 1, 2. We're going to reposition our crochet marker in that very last stitch to indicate where we're at in our pattern. And we're going to move our little piece of paper, number 4, down to the bottom, and we're already starting round 5. Okay, we're already starting on round 5 of your rug. So I've moved my number 4 to the bottom, number 5 on the top, just as a reminder in case you get pulled away. And we're going to follow along to the next step of the pattern. And again, looking at that, there's no different except for this number right here. This plus 1 is 5. That is the round that we're on. We're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 4, and then 2 in the next to increase, if you remember that terminology. So at this point, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 in the next, right here. That's 1 and 2 to increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, number 2 in the next to increase. 1. Keep those stitches nice and open as you're doing this, okay? Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 in the next. A little repetitive, but you can see why it's so easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 in the next to increase. 1, and the last one 4 and 2. 1, 2, 3, and the last one. Remove your crochet marker, set it aside for a moment, and we're going to do 2 in the next single crochet stitch. 1, 2, reinsert your crochet marker in that last stitch, and we're ready for the next round already. So as you can see, our rug is getting really big. We just finished round 5. I know that because here's our number 4 plus 1 is 5. We've already moved our little piece of paper to number 6. So we're starting round 6. We know that because here's our number 5. The only thing that's changing in our pattern is this. We're going to continue to increase and repeat. Now, one thing I want to bring to your attention, and we're going to note this when we come around, is that if you reach this crochet marker indicating the end of that round, but you haven't finished the pattern, take it out and always finish the pattern and then replace the crochet marker. I don't know if this particular round is going to be that way or not, but we're going to continue on. 1 single crochet in the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to do our increase, which is 2 in the next one. 1, reinsert 2, and repeat that all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and increase. Looking really good. Okay, so we're going to continue on. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you'll notice, we've already gotten to the crochet marker, which normally means that you've finished that round. We're going to take it out, but we're going to finish this pattern because we've only done 3 single crochet stitches. We still need to do 2 more. 1, 2, and then we're going to insert our hook a second time in that next space. We went past where the crochet marker was. We removed it and we finished our pattern. Always finish your pattern, even if it means you go past the crochet marker. At that point then, obviously reinsert your crochet marker at that last stitch. I'm going to feed off some more fabric here real fast and we're going to start on the next round. Okay, so we just finished round 6. I've moved my little piece of paper to the bottom. We're starting round 7. We know that now because here's that silly pattern. The pattern's showing us that we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. We're going to do the same increase on the bottom and repeat all the way around. And again, if you get to your crochet marker and you haven't finished this pattern, always finish it. Never just stop in the middle of the pattern. So we're going to continue on. 1 in the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 in the next. 1, 2. That is our increase. Three, 4, whoops, dropped that one. It's okay, that happens. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to increase by inserting our hook a second time in that same next space. 1, 2. Oh, I can see that crochet marker. That means we're almost done with round 7. I know that because that's my little piece of paper. I know that because here's 6 and we always add 1 to it, and that'll be our round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 in the next space. I'm going to remove my crochet marker. 1, 2. And guess what? We're already ready for the next round. I'm going to reinsert my crochet marker right here, and I'm going to let you pick up on the next 2 rounds. This is round 7. We're going to let you do round 8, and then we're going to meet up at round 9, okay? Okay, so I invited you to try the next round on your own, and I did the same thing. That next round was round number 8. 7 plus 1 is 8. I had moved my little marker down and I knew that it was round 8. And I started on that next round on my own, and so did you, hopefully. And hopefully you understood the pattern well enough to continue. Now I'm just getting ready to hit this next crochet marker, indicating that I'm finishing this round. But I can clearly see that I'm not going to be able to finish that round. But I'm going to anyway. So here is, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did the increase. I've got 1, 2 of the 7 there. 3, 4, 5. I'm going to remove that crochet marker and finish my pattern. You always finish your pattern before moving on, even if you hit that crochet marker before you complete it. So I've now done, here's the increase. There's 2 single crochets there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and an increase. 1 and 2. And we're going to do the last round, this next round together. Round number 9. 8 plus 1 is 9. We're going to move this down, so if we get distracted, we'll know exactly which round we're on here. We know it here as well, and we're going to continue on. I'm going to feed off some more fabric because I'm definitely going to need it on this round. And we're going to continue on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again, always maintaining that space below your crochet hook so you know that you're going to have wonderful tension on this. If you have to pull that crochet hook through, your tension is too tight. Loosen them up. Okay, so there's our marker. There's our 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're ready to increase by inserting our hook a second time in that space. 1, 2. We're going to do 8 now. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and increase. 1, 2. I'm doing this so fast, I'm working up a sweat, guys. 1, 2 to increase. So we're about halfway around, it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to increase. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm still glancing up at my pattern to remind me where we are. 6, 7, 8, and we're going to increase. 1, 2 in the same space. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remove my crochet marker. 8 and 9. Are you having fun yet? So this is exciting because I told you at the beginning of the video we're going to finish 10 rounds, which is the equivalent of a 20-inch round rug. The same as the interior on this rug that I showed you at the beginning. We're on that final round. Now, let me share with you that it doesn't matter how big of a rug you anticipate making. This is a 10 rounds. But what if you wanted a 48-inch round rug? You can continue on with the same exact pattern for as big as you want that rug to be. It doesn't matter. It could be a 30-inch round rug or a 40-inch or a 50-inch or 60-inch. You're going to continue with this pattern. But wherever you decide to finish this rug, we're going to do one different thing, and that is we're going to do a simple 1 single crochet around to finish it. If you decide that you'd like to add a scallop border to this rug, you still need to do first a single crochet around and then do your border. So this is our final round. This was round 9. This is round 10. And I know that because my little piece of paper reminds me that in case I get distracted. And there's my crochet marker. So this is where we're going to start. So this is really the fun one because we're finishing up. We're just going to do a single crochet all the way around, no increases. Just a simple increase all the way around your rug. Nothing to count, just a single crochet stitch all the way around the perimeter of your rug. And you can see how quickly we got to this size of rug. Didn't take very long at all. You could have watched half of a movie with your family while you were doing this. Barely needed a count because you're going to follow this wonderful pattern that is foolproof. I can assure you, your rug, you can just see, look what we're doing here. See how beautifully shaped this is, how wonderfully flat it is. It's never going to curl up with you if you follow this pattern. Keep your tension. Make sure you always, every once in a while, check the loop. See if you've got space to insert your pinky. That space directly below the hook. Routinely throughout your rug, if you have to pull on this to get it through, your tension is tight. Make sure you open up your stitches. We're going all the way around with a single crochet stitch. The rug is getting heavy. It keeps falling off my table here. Didn't take very long at all to get to this size, did it? We're over halfway there. My arm's worn out. Yours probably is too. Good exercise. Keep on going, no increases, because we want this very final round. Again, I don't care if it ends up being a 5-foot round. You want this outer row to not have any increases, just a nice, smooth round of single crochets only, no increases. Your rug will look so much more professional if you do this. Oh, we just got a few more stitches. And I got lucky because I have enough fabric, I believe, rolled out here to finish this up. Here we go. We're on this final lap. I can feel my crochet marker. That's where we're going to end. This round is right here. You can now take out the crochet marker. We're going to clip this about a foot out or so, and you're going to draw this fabric, take your crochet hook out and bring it all the way out here like that. And then what you're going to do to finish off this rug is to simply insert it in the back part of that next stitch right here. And you're going to weave in this tail. And we've got another video on our YouTube channel on how to do that, as well as weaving in this tail. So you can refer to that and look at that. You've got your rug completed and you are done. Okay, so there you have it. 10 rounds, a 20-inch round rug. There's no mistaking the fact that this is a perfectly shaped, it lays perfectly flat. I'm not doing any stretching or anything else. You can tell by yourself, following this pattern, how perfect it is. I can assure you, your final product is going to be just as gorgeous as this if you follow the pattern. Go back on the beginning of this video if you need to review it. Watch it as many times. That's what's great about YouTube channels, YouTube videos. You can watch it as many times and as often as you want. And I hope you will. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you enjoy making round rugs. Make it a great day.